So with respect to the previous slide, we discussed about the floor inspection. So I'll be extending it to the centralized inspection. So what is the centralized inspection and what are its advantages, disadvantages, and where we'll be able to apply centralized inspection we'll be able to discuss. So in the centralized inspection, what we can see is the inspection is carried out in a central place with all the testing equipments. Sensitive equipment is housed in air-conditioned area. Samples are brought to the floor, inspection floor for checking. Centralized inspections may locate in one or more places in the manufacturing industry. So here, the centralized inspection, the word it indicates that central place with all testing equipment. So where all the inspection has to be carried out, it is carried out at different locations by bringing the samples for checking. So in the centralized inspection, we are going to add inspection at different locations so that you'll be able to check the performance of the product. So as per this inspection, what we want to do is, so here we will be able to count, how many parts are produced, what are its aspects. So less number of inspection tools are available. At the end, if you want more inspection tool, it is not necessary. Equipment needs less frequency to recalibration. So here the cost of inspection is reduced. So there is no biased type inspection here. So here by the supervision of inspectors are made possible. There is no distraction to the inspector. Means what are they produced? They are going to discuss with the person who is going to produce. So he won't there won't be any distraction to this part. So once the part is produced, he's going to inspect and give the parts, because the person who is going to manufacture, he will be able to sense if there is deviation in the production process. So there, if inspection is done, he can correct it immediately, so that later on inspection it is minimized. So when we do centralized inspection, when it comes to the assembly at last, we need not inspect the parts, we can assemble directly. So what are the disadvantages of such job? So here the disadvantages will be, you cannot reveal quickly for prevention. If you want to find out if there are defects, you cannot prevent immediately, because sometimes failure may happen at the later stage, defect may come at the later stage. uh, so here, when we go with centralized inspection, so material handling, it will be must be able to supply parts to each department, satisfying all the department, then I will be able to do. High costs as products are subjected to production before they are prevented. So here, when we minimize all those things, rework has to happen, there will be delay in production. So the product cost, it will be more. Inspection of heavy work is not possible. So if the size of the parts are big and its weight is more, means you cannot do inspection immediately. Production control work is more complicated in this case. So the amount of scraps what you are going to get, it is very big, because you have to do rework again and again, so that you have to minimize the defect, means the scrap rate is small. So like this, you'll be able to go with the centralized inspections. These are all the advantages and disadvantages. We'll go to the next type of inspection. So after centralized inspection, here it is combined inspection. So combined inspection, it will be, whether it is floor or central, it will be combined both. So here floor and central inspections both are the objective of such type of inspection is to locate and prevent defects which may not repeat itself in a subsequent operation. So corrective measures is required, and finally to maintain quality economically. So by doing floor as well as central inspection, you'll be able to take corrective measure when and where needed, and economically also it is minimized. How economically it is minimized means in terms of overall cost given to the customer and product to the company, both the aspect it is taken care. So by doing combined inspection, you may not repeat the operations again and again. Better manufacturing process is defined for the operator, so that corrective measure is done at the initial stage only, so that the defective parts when it comes to at the end, it is minimized. So what is functional inspection? Functional inspection, it tells about the product. The product must be able to perform at last. For example, if you manufacture electric motor, it is checked for specific speed, load characteristics, how much load it can take. All those things it will be checked individually from minimum to the maximum, how the product performs. It may be a motor or it may be a machine. Different examples can be taken, but we have to see that the overall performance it is satisfactory. Otherwise it is not possible to go ahead with the process. So like this, functional inspection tells about checking about the functionality of individual component. It may be a motor, it may be a machine, it may be power transmission from one place to other place by using a electric motor. It may be a stepper motor, it may be a AC motor, it may be a DC motor. You can take different type of motors and tell exactly how it works, what are its specifications, where you can use. So that's why at different places they have designated what type of motor to be used, whether it's half HP motor, 1 HP motor, how much load it can take. So all these things will be able to do. So it is also known as assembly inspection. Assembly inspection will be carried out. So when we assemble, when you take a motor, it will be having so many moving parts, so many stationary parts. You have to wound a why we have to mount a copper wounding on the surface. So armature must be able to rotate, transmit rotational speed along the length of the shaft. It will be keep on going. So let's see further inspection is first piece or first off inspection. First piece of the shift or lot is inspected. Means when you produce a lot, in the first stipulated, for example 100 pieces given for to manufacture, first 100 pieces it is checked whether it can be employed or not. If it is any discrepancy in the operation, that has to be checked, and you have to see that you have to give the control limit, what is the tolerance of the component. Excepting for need for precaution for tour, we are check and disturbance in machine setup. We are going to see this yields good results if operator is careful. So here the upper and lower tolerance is given. So what all the lot they produce per day, that will be inspected. So if it is not within the specified range, that piece will be rejected. So the number of defects and the parts produced in the manufacturing process, that is minimized. So after first piece inspection, we'll go for pilot piece inspection. What is this pilot piece inspection is? Here this is done after new design or product is developed. So manufacture of product is done either on the regular floor, shop floor, if production is not disturbed. So here what we do is in the pilot, with the pilot piece inspection, here the products are produced in mass. So there will be large number of components such as automobile, aeroplanes, like this. Different parts will be there. So if there is any modification in the design or the manufacturing process, it has to be updated regularly. Otherwise, the failing of the components happens. So here, some of the products may be batch production or mass production. So based on the number of automobile or airplane components needed, that you are supposed to produce. So why it is told pilot means here the product is manufactured in a pilot plant, means it is a big plant where you are supposed to assemble different components, but the components are taken care with standard manufacturing process, so that the parts won't fail. So final inspection, here it speaks about the functional or assembly inspection. They are very similar to functional or assembly inspection. This inspection is done at the last stage. Once the overall parts are produced, they are going to check. So this is applicable for such as different process industry like electroplating, anodizing products. So this is with incoming material inspection you are supposed to do. So what all the products you do, for example, in the existing part, if you do electroplating or anodizing, you are going to check it is with the end product of the material. So coating has to be done. So raw material is given. Once the product is finished, then they'll go with the electroplating or anodizing with the product, and the product is finally done. So there, when we take the final inspection, the required work has to be carried out on the workpiece so that the final product is achieved.